everyone, it's Ashley here. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to do something really special and something that would be super fun, I think, and also is going to be kind of interesting. Today, I wanted to rank Supernatural seasons. Now, I want to say off the bat that I do love all of Supernatural. That's why I keep watching the show. I do enjoy all 14 and now 15 seasons. However, there are some seasons that I do prefer more, and there are reasons behind it, so I decided that I would make this video today for that reason. I do want to say that this is all my opinion, so this is not set in stone. You all might have different favorite seasons. Your top favorite season might be different than mine. That is okay. All of our opinions are valid, so I just want to say that from the beginning. This is my opinion, this is my list, so whatever your list is, that's fine. If you want to share in the comments down below what your ranking for the seasons are, feel free to do it, because I'd love to see what everyone else's rankings would be. One more thing before we do jump into the video is I want to give a big spoiler warning. If you have not caught up on the show, I would highly recommend not watching this video yet and catch up and then come back to it. I am going to be talking through each season. I'm not doing season 15 because it's not complete yet, so I'm not even putting this on my list. It's just going to be season 1 through season 14. However, I would say if you're not caught up all the way to season 14, I would definitely recommend not watching this video yet. I am going to be talking about major plot points because that does determine where I put some of these seasons on the list, and so I don't want to spoil this if you really don't want to be spoiled from what happens in the show. So please wait, come back to this video later. So let's jump into the video for all of you who are still here. I'm going to be ranking from 14 to 1, and 1 being the best season in my opinion. At spot number 14 is season 6. I've had some people who have told me, how is season 6 ranked so low for me? And there are many reasons why. One of the biggest reasons is I feel like season 6 just had a lot of plot points that they were trying to put into one, and it just didn't have a cohesiveness to it. For example, we have Soulless Sam. I really love Sam. He is one of my favorite characters on the show. So I will say Soulless Sam was really hard for me because I love Sam and it wasn't Sam. But at the same time, Jared did a really good job acting that. I do think it was really interesting though, seeing Sam in this way and also bringing in about soullessness, which of course later becomes important in the show. So I really did like the Soulless Sam plotline overall. However, when everything else started piling on top is where my problems start to come in. One of the biggest is Cass being the bad guy. I love Castiel, and I did not really like how he was portrayed in season 6. Later on, it ends up with him becoming super obsessed with power. I don't like how that worked out. He was keeping secrets from his friends, from Sam, Dean, and from Bobby. And then he felt like it wasn't the right thing to do, but he felt like it was the only thing to do. And I just don't feel like that fit Cass's character very well. I just didn't like seeing him as the bad guy when he was the good guy. And then we throw on top of it too, we had the Eve plotline with the monsters. Genuinely, I wish season 6 had focused more on this and had put more time and effort into it, because I think it could have been really well done. We've had so many seasons that focus on demons, on angels, on whatever. Monsters haven't really been a sole focus of like the big bad or something like that. And I feel like season 6 could have been the one to done it. I think Eve with the mother of all and the alphas being brought in could have really done something really big with that. Helped with the storyline with how they hunt monsters, but of course that's not really what we get. We only get a couple episodes with the whole monster situation, and it's not even the central plot of the season, it turns out. I didn't like that at all. I wish that we had focused more on that plot line. I think overall, most of the seasons of Supernatural, you can always say like what the point of the season was. Say like season 1, they're looking for their dad, you know, season 9, is whenever the angels fell. Like, there's always a certain big thing that happens each season. But when you talk about season 6, it's like, I don't even know what to even say, what the biggest plot point is. Soulless Sam, Eve, Purgatory. There's not actually one thing that just sticks out as this is what the season's about, and I think that's what caused the problem, for me at least, on why I don't like that season really. Now on to number 13, it is season 7. So a lot of people have told me that season 7 is their least favorite season, and one of the biggest reasons is the Leviathans. Personally, the Leviathans didn't bother me that much. I do wish they had been more intimidating. I think making them really intelligent and also using that intelligence to help them to really and truly try to take over the world was an interesting idea, but I feel like for the first beasts that were ever created and this horrible thing, the reason Purgatory was created, I feel like they weren't terrifying. I mean, of course, with the whole mouth opening and like their face and how they're made is pretty scary, but I never felt super intimidated by them. I wasn't really worried that we wouldn't defeat them. I just always felt like we would. In truth, it kind of felt like we were playing a game of Monopoly and they were trying to take over, and it's just business plans on how to do it. I wish there had been more of a terrifying aspect. I think that doing how they did with the intelligence side and then blending into the world, into the population, was a good idea, but I do feel like they could have made it a little bit more scary and intimidating for the first beast ever created. I feel like a lot of the other monsters we've had on the show are scarier than that. However, I think what more was the problem for me in season 7 is how they basically killed off all of Sam and Dean's family and friends. I mean, we first lose Cass in the very first episode of season 7, and he's gone almost the entire season. And then we had Bobby. I love Bobby, I love him so much, but I felt like his death was well done, and I think it made a huge impact. I just wish that that had been the only death that season, because it just felt like everything got taken away from the boys. And I mean, we don't even have the Impala, because the Impala disappears after Slash Fiction. And so it really was rough watching these boys have to go through this all alone. Because sure, you know, we talk about the brothers and everything, but we always talk about with Supernatural how family don't end with blood. Family doesn't just stop with them, it continues. The cast has grown. There's so many characters we have in the show. Losing all of them was really tough. I did enjoy the season because we did get some really awesome characters added, such as Charlie and Kevin. And there are episodes in season 7 that I do enjoy, such as Plucky Penny Whistles and so on and so forth. I think really taking away a lot of Sam and Dean's family is what pushed that one so low for me. Now, number 12, we have season 12. So, season 12 is an interesting season because the big bad that season is the British Men of Letters. I know a lot of people will agree with me on this in saying that that was not the best antagonist that we could have gotten on the show. I was very confused with the whole ordeal for the fact that Sam and Dean are technically now Men of Letters. They are legacies. I don't get why the British Men of Letters wanted to kill them and didn't want to work with them. I didn't understand that at all. I get some of the ideas of where they came from, where it was like, oh, you guys have helped start like the apocalypse, and then they had just got through a potential apocalypse, and so it's like we need to change things, but I didn't see why like we went straight into torture and like death threats and stuff like that. I was like, why couldn't we have just like chilled and talked? They could have offered advice, and then they wanted to take over America and make it better with honey. I was like, what? I just didn't understand all that. I do think though that the later half of where we get the Nephilim idea was really good because we didn't know what to expect. I remember whenever I was watching season 12 that I was terrified of what would happen with the Nephilim. And they kept talking about how the Nephilim was going to be so powerful and how this was going to be the most powerful being on the earth, on the planet. And that was intimidating, and so the build-up of that I think was really well done. I also really didn't care for how they brought Mary back. When I watched the episode where Mary came back, I was so excited to see what happened. I was shocked, I was amazed, I was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? And I just personally don't like how her character was done because she cared more about working with the British Men of Letters than she did her own children, and that also didn't make sense to me. Overall, there are episodes in season 12 that I do enjoy. I think it could have been done so much better. So in spot 11, I have season 14. So season 14 I did enjoy. I think it was a really good emotional season that made me cry my eyes out 100 times. However, The filler episodes almost killed me in season 14. I didn't much care for them. And I also didn't like some of the things that they brought in season 14. I didn't like Nick. I think that could have done so much better with Nick because of the fact that he was the original vessel for Lucifer and he had been used for so long. I still don't know how he was alive. I don't think they ever fully addressed how he lived.
But anyway.
But I thought whenever they brought him back, I was like, well, maybe they're going to do something cool with him. And instead, they made him a psychopath. And I just wasn't there for that. There were some scenes with him that were just so dark, and I was uncomfortable. Listen, I was happy when Jack went and iced him. I was like, good. Thank you, Jack. I know Mary was like, no. But I was like, thank you so much. Because I did not like him at all. I think the soullessness for Jack was an interesting touch because definitely took me by surprise that Jack ended up being well, season 14 did throw me a lot of surprises because I did not expect Jack to be the big bad. And then of course that didn't end up even being the biggest bad. I will say 14's finale I really enjoyed. I did not see it coming. And I wish I had recorded my reaction to it because I literally just sat like that for literally the entire 10 minutes of the ending because I did not see it coming at all, and I think it was so good. I really enjoyed it and I like the twist that would lead into 15. Number 10 spot is season 10. There's a reason. I promise there's a reason why season 10 is this low on my list. I promise. I know there's a lot of people who enjoy season 10. I have friends who enjoy season 10 and that's their favorite season. For me with season 10, there's a few things I wish had been done more. Demon Dean, for example, was one. I wish Demon Dean had been more expanded upon. I know the reason they couldn't do it is because of the fact that they had the 200th episode that they needed to do, and that was episode 5. However, I wish that somehow it had been brought back up. I felt like it was just a very short plot point that I thought was going to take the entire season, and I wish we could have done more with it. I think it was really interesting having Dean being the bad guy that season and having to figure out how they're going to keep Dean from going evil. I did enjoy that, and there was a lot of amazing episodes in season 10. My biggest problem also came from whenever it was getting towards the end and Sam is trying everything he can to save Dean from the mark, and then they killed Charlie. I did not like that they killed Charlie. I was really upset with that decision. There are some really amazing episodes, but also I think the filler episodes in season 10 just really weren't there for me. There were some filler episodes in other seasons that I really enjoyed, but I didn't really care for the filler episodes in season 10, so that's why it's ranked so low. Please don't attack me. If you love the season, that's cool. You have your right to love it. At number 9 spot is season 8. So season 8 for me was half and half. I hated it and loved it. I hated it because I hated the first half of season 8. I did not like how Sam didn't search for Dean in Purgatory, and I don't feel like that matches his character at all. And the tension between the brothers was so awkward at the beginning of season 8 for obvious reasons. And then we had Amelia thing going on with Sam, and then we had Benny with Dean. I did enjoy Benny. I really liked his character a lot, and I wish we could have had more with him, and I wish that they didn't kill him off in that season, but it is what it is on that. Starting when LARP and the Real Girl episode came and then going on, I really did enjoy season 8. I loved LARP and the Real Girl with Charlie. I'm glad they brought her back and didn't just make her a one-off character. And then the next episode they brought Henry Winchester in, their grandfather, who I really was excited to meet. And then they brought in the Meneletters, which I really loved adding that aspect into the supernatural universe. And then of course was the Trials. I personally really enjoyed the Trials. I think that it was interesting and different. It reminded me of Hercules and all that kind of stuff in Greek mythology. Sacrifice is also one of my favorite finales. Heartbreaking, beautiful finale. It was just, I was torn half and half in season 8 because there were some things I really liked and some things I hated. So that's why at this point in my list. At spot number 8 we have season 13. So season 13 is when we get Jack, and I absolutely love and adore Jack so much, and so I was super excited for whenever we got him in. I think Alexander Calvert does such a good job in playing Jack as someone who is very naive and childlike, but also someone who is powerful. I also really enjoyed, there's a lot of standout episodes in season 13. Scooby Natural is one, Wayward Sisters is another, because I wanted Wayward Sisters to be a thing. However, in saying that, there also are a lot of episodes I really didn't care for. I didn't like Lucifer in season 13. I just was aggravated with him. But again, there are some really awesome positives that came with 13 from me at least, and so that's why it's right here. Alright, number 7 is season 2. So season 2 is officially a season a lot of people seem to forget about. I really enjoyed season 2. Season 2, of course, is the follow-up to season 1. It's still the beginning of the show, getting its footing and what the show is going to really be on. And season 2 kind of focuses more on the special children, on the sidekicks that were made from Azazel's plan, and with Sam having to be a part of that plan. Season 2, we lose John in the very beginning, and so the boys are on their own officially now. However, season 2 also brings us Bobby fully into the picture, which I was super excited about because I love Bobby, and he is the surrogate father that those boys needed so badly. Season 2 is ranked here because there are a lot of amazing episodes, and overall I do enjoy the season, but for me, season 2 just wasn't a big standout, so that's why it's here. Alright, at number 6 spot we have season 9. So season 9 is a lot going on. Season 9, I really enjoyed it because of the different aspects that it ended up bringing. Of course, we get human Cass, and I think that was, while it was hard to watch at points because I love Cass and I was like, I hate to see him like in pain and suffering, I really did enjoy seeing him have to live as a human, and I think that leads to Cass being able to understand what Sam and Dean go through a lot easier whenever this season's continued. We have the Gadriel plotline with Sam. However, when Gadriel was possessing Sam, I really got aggravated, obviously, because Gadriel was lying, because he said he was Ezekiel, and that's not who he was. And then he killed Kevin, and I was like, can we stop killing the people that I really enjoy on the show? And welcome to Supernatural Warrior.
Everyone you really love and enjoy on this show gets killed off.
However, though, the later half of season 9 is kind of where I'm more like, ooh, I really enjoyed this, because we get Mark of Cain and we get the first Blade. I think Jensen did such an amazing job playing this version of Dean, and it was super interesting seeing it switch all of a sudden, because of course season 10, it's where Dean's trying to fight with himself and trying to not become evil. Season 9 is where we get the first beginnings of seeing that. And then of course, season 9 finale, probably one of the reasons also season 9 is ranked so high on my list. Season 9 finale was the first finale I ever got to watch live, the first episode I ever got to watch live of the show. The cliffhanger is just superb. I think that overall season 9 was pretty well done. I know Jensen has said it's probably one of his favorite seasons that he's done, and you can see it when you watch Dean. We finally have made it to the top 5. So these are the top 5 that I think are the best seasons for Supernatural. So in spot number 5, we have season 3. Season 3 is a shorter season due to the writer's strike. However, those few episodes really make an impact. Season 3's biggest thing is Dean's deal to go to hell. It was really interesting watching the brothers handle the situation. There's a lot of amazing standout episodes in season 3, and overall, with only a few short episodes, you can feel the emotion in it, you can feel the tenseness in it. The interesting thing is, even though there was the writer's strike and that's why it was cut short, because Dean only had a year left, it made time so much more important, and it made you feel like you were sitting on the edge of your seat waiting, because you're like, is Dean actually going to go to hell? I guess, are you going to live, or is this going to be it? And time was ticking down, and you're just sitting here like antsy, like, oh my gosh, we're running out of time, like what's gonna happen? And so I feel like cutting down the episodes, even though obviously it wasn't planned, I feel like really did add something to that season with that whole storyline. Sorry that this looks different, my battery died on my camera, but now we're back. Season 3 was really, really interesting. I really enjoyed it. That's why it's ranked where it is on my list. Next up we have in spot 4, season 11. So season 11 I really liked because I liked the plot line. The darkness and bringing in about Chuck, whole revelation and all of that was just really interesting to me. It was really awesome, and I really liked how we had somewhere we were going. I didn't much care for the Amara-Dean connection thing. That was weird. There's also a lot of standout, really amazing episodes in season 11. Just My Imagination being one, when we meet Sully, Sam's imaginary best friend. Also, Baby is one of my all-time favorite episodes, and it is just so well done. I love the idea of doing the perspective of the car. On top of it, we also got Cassifer, which was super fun. Misha absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark playing that role. Overall, I've rewatched season 11 several times because I do enjoy watching it again and again. Spot number 3, we have season 1. Season 1 is where everything started from the beginning and the get-go and led us to where we are now going into the final season of Supernatural. Season 1 is one that I have rewatched. I can't even count how many times because I just always can rewatch it. It's always so good. Surprisingly, I did enjoy the Monster of the Week concept for the beginning of the show. I felt like that was a great way to introduce what the Winchester brothers were doing. Season 1 just really helped set the tone, and it's pretty scary too. Honestly, the horror in season 1 is actually fits that horror genre that Supernatural claims to have. There's a lot of scary episodes that it took me years to be able to watch because they freaked me out so much. But season 1 is always a classic. It's a classic season for the show. You know, it's where it all started, so that's why it's number 30 on my list. Alright, now we're down to the top 2, so I have 2 spots left, and funny enough, these 2 seasons are back to back. But spot 2 for me is season 4. The season 4 for me actually is one of my personal favorite seasons. It was really, really good. A lot of amazing episodes of amazing acting, storytelling, so on and so forth, leading up to where we get to in season 5. A lot of revelations that changed things that we originally thought in the show, and I think that that is just really well, that just shows how really well done that season was. Also, of course, season 4 is where we get the introduction of Castiel. And I absolutely love Cass, so I was excited to see him. It was so fun to have him come in. His intro into the show is also the best intro I've ever seen of a character into a television show ever. There was just a lot of amazing aspects that season 4 brought in. And leading into the apocalypse that we end up getting in the season after, it felt like it was perfect. But even with it just doing an intro into what would be the final, what was originally decided to be the final season of Supernatural, it didn't feel like it was a filler season. It felt like there was a lot of big things happening in that season. So that is why it is number 2 on my list. And now we're here at number 1, what I am ranking as the best season for Supernatural in my opinion, and that is season 5. I'm sure a lot of you probably expected this one to be at least at the top 5. Season 5 was originally going to be the finale for Supernatural, like the complete series finale, but then Supernatural got picked up for season 6 and then has continued on since then. But the first 5 seasons were all written cohesively to end with season 5 being the tie-up for that plot line, that storyline. And so season 5 did not disappoint. Season 5 was when we were really focusing on the apocalypse, and it was really a season that I didn't know what would happen. I was it's like what I'm going through with season 15 currently. I didn't know what would happen because I was like, what is going to be the end game for this? How do we stop this? And how is this going to end up with the boys, like, even trying to survive it? A lot of amazing tie-ins that came from earlier seasons being brought back into it, where it's coming full circle in season 5, were what actually just kept me getting more excited because you saw how things were being done. And then of course season 5 finale, Swan Song, such an amazing finale, an amazing episode, tear-jerking. I can only watch it ever so often because I'll start crying because it's so magnificent and well done, and honestly deserves awards because it's just so well done. 5 is always going to be amazing, and I will always be able to rewatch season 5. There's so many amazing episodes and storyline in that one season. That is my rankings for Supernatural. I hope that you guys liked it. I don't know if you agree with me or not. If you do not, if you have a different ranking, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to read and hear what your rankings are. Again, this is just my opinion. It does not mean that this is the end-all be-all of what all Supernatural seasons are, and that what I've put at the number 14 spot and so on is the worst seasons. It's just my opinion of what I just didn't care for. Again, I really do enjoy all the seasons. I will rewatch all of them hundreds of times. I've rewatched the entire show probably 10 times now because I've been watching for about 7 years now. So you know, I really do care about this show so much, and so that's why ranking them and talking about what I have thought about each season, you know, it seems kind of fitting going especially into season 15 and as about to finish it all out with the last 7 episodes coming out soon. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. Let me know that you enjoyed it. If you'd like me to rank something else with Supernatural or another fandom, let me know in the comments below as well. Also, if you would like, hit the subscribe button down below. I post a lot of fandom content, which does include Supernatural, Harry Potter, many other fandoms. There's going to be more videos similar to this and some other things. I have some ideas already ready to go, so you'll see a lot of cool videos coming soon your way. So if you would like, hit subscribe. If you would like to be notified whenever I post a video, hit the notification bell. It'll send you a notification as soon as I post. So if you would like to know immediately, hit that bell. I also have in the link in the description below my social medias. I have an Instagram, Twitter, and a TikTok. So if you would like to check those out, look down there. And that's about it. So I will see all of you in the next video. Have an amazing day and goodbye. Carry on, my wayward people. Woo!